Man, thank Rymus, this shit is finally over. Last time on Dragon Ball Daima.
SSJ4! SSJ4!
I clapped because I know GT! It broke old
SSJ4!
ground!
SSJ4! SSJ!
I'm just gonna kick things off with a warning and let you know that I'm about to say some very unkind things about Daima. Now, I know this show has a lot of fans, and if you love this show and hearing some 40-year-old dumb bitch on the internet who had aged out of the show's demographic decades ago bitching about it is going to ruin your enjoyment of it, dip out. Go now. Like, you don't need to hear this. Trust me. Like, protect your bliss. Protect the joy you have. Now, if you like the show and you are not going to be fazed by hearing other people's opinions that drastically differ from your own, stay. You'll at least get another perspective on, why someone may not like this show. Now, before I jump into the actual review, I do want to do a little bit of self-promotion and say I made a fan edit of Battle of Gods. It was a lot of work. Been working on it for a really long time. It's finally out. I did a whole video talking about the process. And if you want to see that video, link in the description below. If you want to see the fan edit itself, there's a link for that too. So go check that out. I probably should have done that before I told people to leave the video. I am a very good YouTuber. Anyhow, Daima. So I'm going to tackle these episodes in the order of events, and then kind of coalesce all my thoughts near the end. So where we had left off, Goma had become this brick shithouse of a villain. He had just gone full tilt Jiren and was raffle stomping our heroes. Goku kicks things off here by going Super Saiyan 3. Majin Ku tosses a cookie to his little bro Do, and Do gets super powered up by it. And he sees Goku in his SS3 form, and this is so heartwarming. He sees it and he's inspired by it, so he mimics him. So he charges himself up and he spikes out the back of his head, to look like Super Saiyan 3 hair. It's so good. Some people take this scene way too seriously. It's like, oh my god, does he have his own special Super Saiyan transformation? Whoa, what? Guys, he's just imitating him. He can shapeshift. It's fine. Stop taking the joy out of these jokes. But anyhow, he does that. It's great. I laughed. It was such a cute moment. He peters out immediately, and Goku gets his shit wrecked. And just when it seems like Goma is going to hit him with the big finishing blow, never shows up, and then just looks at Goku and then just downloads the SS4 expansion pack into Goku, transforming him on the spot. Oh boy, I am not a fan of this. So I used to complain about modern Dragon Ball and its use of fan service, and I was just like, what, if Dragon Ball's just gonna keep doing all this fan service, why can't it service me? Throw me a little bit of GT fan service. And I have learned that if I get fan serviced directly at me, I don't like it. In fact, I feel insulted, and it just makes me angrier. Because just jangling out this transformation, hey, you like Super Saiyan 4, you like Dragon Ball GT, here's this thing from Dragon Ball GT. It's completely devoid of the context that made you like the thing in the first place, but look at this thing. It's here. And I have more to say about that and I'm going to come back around to that at the end, but I'm just going to say its utilization at this point is needless. Like, literally, he could have just supercharged Goku Super Saiyan 3, or literally, or just healed him back up, and Goku could have had a Zenkai boost. Doesn't fucking matter. This transformation literally could have been any kind of recharging to Goku. And it would have like the same weight within the narrative. This has not been set up whatsoever. And the fucked up part is that like I was starting to think for a bit. I even mentioned earlier, like when they mentioned like Cybermen coming from the demon realm, I was just like, oh my god, is this how they're gonna like hint that Saiyans are from the demon realm? Is that why Zaru actually get pointed ears? Is this where we're going with this? Oh my god. And I even had like this little theory. I was just like, what if we get Super Saiyan 4 and Toriyama basically does like his own take on it, but like, he has like, like pointed Ozaru ears. And oh man. No, instead of that, like we did get Super Saiyan 4, but with zero build up. It has no weight, no impact whatsoever. It is just, hey, look, it is that thing you remember from that other thing. Fuck off. I will say, aesthetically, I do love this transformation. I like the way it looks. I like the big old Donkey Kong arms. Great. Just going full monkey on it. Like, I love that aesthetic change. I'm cool with like, the more magenta fur and like how it's shaped. I like the magenta hair, like, the red eyes, very much leaning into the Super Saiyan God aesthetic. Toriyama, clearly was just like leaning things more into like a solid singular color palette, which makes sense. Like Super Saiyan would have like, like the gold hair and the gold aura. He was always kind of singularly focused on colors like that. So it doesn't surprise me too much that he kind of hued all the colors a bit closer to like one palette. And I think it looks good. Honestly, I would not be surprised if when Toei was just like, hey, Toriyama, like we want to do Super Saiyan 4. People really like that. We want to bring it into this, era of Dragon Ball. Design us your take on Super Saiyan 4. And I just picture Toriyama Googling Super Saiyan 4 to see what it looks like, to do his version of it, and then just accidentally coming across like the Limit Breaker version from Heroes, because people have pointed out this looks more like the Limit Breaker one. And I just imagine Toriyama going, okay, well, that's a Super Saiyan 4. So yeah, like red glowy fur, kind of magenta, white outline. Yeah, okay. Let me just say, I like classic Super Saiyan 4. I like this Super Saiyan 4 aesthetically, narratively, but I like it aesthetically. I will totally play him in a video game when that eventually happens. If there's one thing I can complain about, I would have lost the wristbands and added a belt, because with the way his fur like ends like kind of up here and then comes down at an angle and then like goes down to like the wristbands, I think it would have looked better if the wristbands weren't there at all and we just kind of saw where like the fur ended near his wrist. And then also the belt would have been really good for separating the magenta fur from the orange pants, because I kind of feel like those clash, and the blue would have done a lot to break that up. But beyond that, aesthetically, very cool. The fight itself, god damn it, like it's one of those things, it's like the Broly fight again, where it is our heroes punching an indestructible big muscly dude who just keeps getting stronger. This is not engaging for me. I get nothing out of this. It's fucking boring. I will say there are parts where I think it is genuinely cool, like when there was like flashing between like red and blue for like one of the segments. I thought that was aesthetically a neat visual. Goku getting decked mid Kamehameha. I feel like that's like the big moment for that episode. getting decked mid Kamehameha, getting his shit rocked, and then while he's flipping upside down, restarting the Kamehameha, and then launching it like at Goma, like for like the big finish of like that segment of the fight. And then there's just like his movements in general, him like running on all fours, his very acrobatic style, which we've seen Kid Goku be very acrobatic in this series, but I feel like with this more monkey influence, ape influenced transformation, it adds to it, and those are things I like, even if the fight overall is boring as shit. So after that, Goma just regenerates. He's fucking indestructible. And then he de-transforms Goku. Just sends him right back down the base. Now, why he isn't going to do this later in the show, don't know. Honestly, I do know why he had to de-transform him, so Goku could re-transform later and, like, reveal the form a second time. I hate that. But, whatever. Glorio is told by Arins, hey, get the Dragon Balls, we're gonna make the wish. So he gets the Dragon Balls from Hybis, goes over to Arins. Arins is like, hey, this is what I've prepared you for. This is what you've learned. Like, I had you learn Namekian for this. Make that wish. And this is where, like, we start getting, like, kind of like this very unearned pathos for Glorio, where Glorio has not been a character up until this point. Like, he is introduced as cool stoic guy, and then he is cool stoic guy who is secretly working for the villain, or one of the villains. And we never learn anything about him. We don't know his connection to Arins. We don't know Arins' plan at the time. We spend most of this series just going, okay, he's double crossing them, and there's nothing to add any kind of depth to this. Like, we get like all these like flashbacks of the time they spent together, and it's like, okay, and so Glorio summons the dragon. He summons a red Purunga, and honestly, I probably should have seen it coming that it was going to be like a red Purunga, given that in GT it was a red Shenlong. Here, this is like this ancient Namekian. It would be a red Purunga, and I would say this is kind of cool, except for the fact that it's just Purunga, but a palette swap. And if you're thinking, well, the ultimate Shenlong from GT was also... No, it wasn't. It is aesthetically different. It has different horns. Like, it has, like, these big golden, like, rigid horns that come out. And it has a more pug-like snoot. As opposed to the regular Shenlong's, like, longer snout. So, yeah. It is an aesthetically different looking dragon. And this is just Purunga again. They have done nothing to differentiate it. It just feels like it exists so that way they can just recolor some old Purunga toys and just re-release like those and statues and things like that and go, look, it's now the Daima Purunga, you cheap fucks. So the episode ends with like, oh my gosh, what wish is Glorio actually going to make? It's obvious. He wishes them all back into adults. That is how it goes. And then Goku, now with them all being adults, goes, well, since we're adults now we should just fight one-on-one. What? Why? I mean, I know why. Like, storytelling-wise, like, you just want an excuse to have, like, okay, now it's time for Vegeta to have his fight, and then he gets to show off his Super Saiyan 3 transformation again, except this time now as an adult. And, like, and it's so dumb because, like, he transforms, and, like, people have this reaction like they've never seen, like, Super Saiyajin 3. It's like, you've seen this before. You know he can do this. This isn't his first time breaking this out. So, they're dealing with Goma. Elsewhere, Glorio is getting chastised by Arins. It's just like, I saved you from the third demon world and you double crossed me. You're fired. And it's just like, what am I supposed to be feeling here? Once again, like there's no development. Okay, she saved him from the third demon world. What does that mean? Like, did she adopt him as a child and raise him? Did she find him like a couple of years ago and like move him to the first demon world and like use him as kind of like a mercenary? What is his relationship to this woman? Did she literally like find him on Craigslist 1 week prior to the show? Like, what the fuck is their dynamic? It'd be really great that instead of wasting time with crashing the ship repeatedly and dropping exposition on Glind lore or the fucking Supermagine Rymus or any of the other bullshit that never had any kind of meaningful motherfucking payoff, we had spent time developing this character so that way when this scene happens, there's an emotional payoff. Because we got fucking shit here. And then Glorio comes back to everyone else and he's just like, feeling bad because like, they now know that he's betrayed them and they just welcome him back with open arms. Because of course they have. He saved the day. They don't really care that like, oh, well, you were working for Arenes this whole time? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you helped us in the end. You did the right thing. Why are we going to be mad at you? And once again, like this should be, like, it feels like it's trying to deliver an emotional moment without doing any of, like, the building, like, setting any of the building blocks to pay off that emotional, like, moment. There is nothing here. This is completely unearned. You did not do the work. This is stolen fucking emotional valor. Fuck off. And then while Vegeta is having his fight, Anins gets Ku to grab like her magic book to figure out how to deal with the evil eye. And Ku, being like super cool good boy he is, like flips through the book really fast and is able to like find the information that she needs immediately because he's just the bestest boy. And then she reads the book and then she's just like, okay, he needs to be hit in the back of the head 3 times because now he's just a goddamn video game boss. Sure, whatever. Who fucking cares? So then she shows up to our heroes and it's like, hey, hit him in the back of the head 3 times. And then the actual best scene of this show happens. Probably not even like the best scene of the show, but like the best scene in all of modern Dragon Ball. My single favorite Vegeta moment, I think, which is Bulma telling Vegeta to take a step back and let Goku fight, and him being like, fuck you, I'll die fighting this bitch. I'm in it to win it. And she's just like, okay, fine, Vegeta, if you don't stop fighting, I will never take a bath with you again. And Vegeta is just like, the comedic timing on this is absolute perfection. His, oh my god, I think she means it. And then he just zip, 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 boom, right back in front of her. And everyone's just like, this is a series that gave me the information that, like, one, Vegeta, canonically, is a boob man. He likes him some big old titties. And that also, he's a bit of a pervert, likes to, get sudsy with his wife. Like, oh my god, this is the most humanity Vegeta has ever been fucking given. This is the most I have ever liked Vegeta's character. Like, I mean, I really like him in GT because, like, he actually gets to develop and grow as a character. But, like, god damn it, it's just in terms of, like just him, especially, like, juxtaposing that with his grumpy personality where he's trying super hard to still be perceived as, like, the edgy badass Vegeta that he was, like, back in, like, the Cell arc. And then, like, seeing, like, these two sides of the character, and I feel like that kind of really just combining those two elements of him elevates him to a character that I actually like a lot more. So yeah, absolute 10 out of 10 scene. I loved it. What I did not love is Goku rehashing another part of the Majin Buu saga where he like goes through a Super Saiyan demonstration reel and he's just like, this is Super Saiyan 1, this is Super Saiyan 2, this is Super Saiyan 3. And he's striking the exact same, like going through it identically to how he does in the Majin Buu arc. And it's so dumb because like the reason he does that in the Majin Buu arc is because he's stalling for time. He's doing it here for no reason other than the audience remembers that that is a thing he did. It's an iconic scene from the manga, so we're doing it again. Like, this reminds me of, like, when Vegeta did, like, the final annihilation or whatever the fuck, his big self-destruction attack in the Tournament of Power, and it's just like, you didn't fucking earn this. This is nothing. And then he survives. Except here, Goku is like, here's a bonus. And then he, powers up and goes Super Saiyan 4, which might be cool if it wasn't a transformation we had literally seen one episode prior. So not only are we rehashing a bit from the Majin Buu arc, we are now showing off a transformation that we showed off last episode. And in one of like the weirdest bits of like framing, Goku is like up in the air when he is transforming. When he transforms into Super Saiyan 4, he is now like down on the ground and he's climbing up onto a rock and he's like standing at the edge of it. What happened? It's such a weird, jarring cut because, like I said, he is up in the air in one moment and down on the ground the other. And the obvious thing here would be, oh, well, he's climbing up the rock and he's gonna do the GT pose. The pose from the second intro of GT where he goes Super Saiyan 4 and he's like has like one leg up on the rock and he's doing the big hero pose. But he doesn't. It's like it was probably scripted like that, but the storyboard artist didn't know that they were supposed to directly reference like the fact that you referenced like the Gohan like running up the mountain in like the Chala Head Chala intro episodes ago, but then here you have like you're clearly setting up the GT opening pose for Super Saiyan 4 and then you just don't fucking do it. Like you failed. Like fan service fail. Why? So now you just have like this weirdly framed shot that doesn't even deliver on the fan service that it was obviously intending to deliver on. So that's the end of episode 19. Episode 20, Goku as a Super Saiyan 4 is taking it to Goma, and we get a really sick looking Sheeta cut. And it's a Sheeta cut I actually really like. For those that do not know, I'm not like the biggest Sheeta fan. Like I can count on one hand like the number of Sheeta cuts I think look amazing. Very specifically because Sheeta has that very wobbly camera style that I find just disorienting, and it one takes me out of the moment, and two, it makes the action harder to read. Like it makes me think of like action sequences that have shaky cam. It's just like no. Lock the camera in so I can see in full clarity what's going. Like if you want to make an impressive shot, do it with the choreography. Don't like wobble the camera around to try to make something look impressive, because it's just disorienting and it's shitty and I hate it and a lot of people love it and I am not one of those people. But here, he doesn't really do that. He very much restrains himself, and I think it's a really sick cut. I really like it. Like, it's a lot of, Goku punching an invincible, muscly brick wall. So that gets a bit boring. But it ends on such a strong note. Like Goku goes for his big old Kamehameha and he launches it and he shoots it through Goma. And then like he pierces through like all the demon realms. And that is a dope ass moment. Like that is some hype as shit. Like the last time I could think of in Dragon Ball where like an action set piece felt like just really like monumental, like just felt just super fucking cool was in the Moro arc where Goku kind of like has Moro above him and he kind of like rears back and he punches him and then like you see like the shockwave go across the entire planet. Like it's like that level of just, oh, that's just fucking cool. And god damn it, it's fucking cool. I'm not even gonna pretend it isn't. So while Goma is immobilized for a moment, Piccolo goes to like hit him in the back of the head 3 times, hits him twice, Goma bats him away. He's just like, oh, you're trying to like take my evil eye out, fuck you. And then everyone tries to like bum rush Goma, and Ku comes from behind him, hits him in the back of the head 3 times with the spell book, and knocks the eye out. And it just kind of like rolls in front of Glorio, and then Glorio just hilarious. Like honestly, I love the anticlimax with Ku. I love Glorio. The secondary anticlimax of Glorio's look at the eye and just like it's good stuff. And then everyone's looking at Ku. He's just like, what? I can't save the day? Like I'm a good boy. I can do the good boy thing. And then we just start wrapping everything up. And this is honestly where the finale, like this whole, for the first time in several episodes where I am like, this is just really good Dragon Ball. All of a sudden there is writing again. And I really feel like this is where probably Toriyama had the most notes. And that's why like a lot of the writing feels a lot stronger here, where in the last episode it just kind of felt bumbly. Like there's just, it felt very sloppy and loose, and like there wasn't a lot of forward momentum. And then it just kind of switched to just being action, 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 action. Here we get great character moments, and it's great stuff. Like Goma and Degas get sealed away. Ku, because he beat Goma, is the new Supreme Demon King. And then he like makes Arins his Vice Demon King. And he makes all these different people his ministers. And he even has like really good, it's not just like, oh well, like you get to be a minister and you get to be a, no, like he explains his rationale behind it. Like, Marba, you're like really wise when it comes to magic. King Kadan, like, you know, you had a lot of bravery and you came to defend, like, you know, the demon realm. He goes with Glorio. It's just like, you know, like you're a demon for like the 3rd demon world, but like, you know, you have like a lot of heart and honor to you. Like he has like a strong rationale for like all of his picks. And then you have like Hybus who's just like, hey, can I be a minister? And just Ku just completely fucking ignores him. I love him so much. Now, this final part isn't like all great because it just leaves you with like a lot of questions. Like, why does Arins kind of just get off scot-free? Like, she just gets to be like Vice Demon King. It's just like, really? Because like, you know, if she had gotten Evil Eye, you guys would have had to fight her instead, right? Like, the only reason she isn't the big bad of this arc is because she didn't have the power for it. Like, she didn't get her wish, and she didn't get the Evil Eye, so she didn't get to be the big bad. She totes would have been the big bad had, like, she had the ability. So it's really weird that she just kind of gets a free pass because she, you know, made some Majin who did some good things. Like, if Goma hadn't gotten the Evil Eye, she probably would have been the final boss of this story. But instead, he got the Evil Eye, so she wasn't the final boss. And then we get the reveal that Goku apparently did not get Super Saiyan 4 from Neva. He had actually had it the whole time and just hadn't busted it out yet because he wasn't sure if it would work. I guess he hadn't actually really used it yet. But he did have access to it because Vegeta, like, calls him out. It's like you were hiding Super Saiyan 4 from me, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. Once again, reenacting, like, the whole thing, like, you hid that Super Saiyan 3 transformation from me. Because we gotta keep retreading. We gotta keep hitting the classics. So Goku's like, oh, well, I didn't know if it was gonna work, and blah, blah, blah. And also, like, you had Super Saiyan 3, like, I didn't know about that. It's like, that wasn't... Okay, I will admit, there's a really good line where he goes, that wasn't Super Saiyan 3, that was Ultra Vegeta 1. Great line. No notes. Except for, he also mentions how, like, oh, it's like a Super Saiyan bargain sale, which doesn't even fucking make sense in this context. Once again, the reason he says that in the Majin Buu arc is because, like, literal children have obtained, like, this legendary, like, what was supposed to be a legendary transformation with utter ease. It was, like, an absolute piss take on, like, this thing that had been held, like, in, like, sacred regard. And now, like, literally, it is the plaything of children. Here, this is Goku, who is known for busting his ass in training and always pushing his limits and always breaking past his limits, getting a new transformation. Yeah, bro, why is this a bargain sale? That's such a weird line of dialogue. I mean, I know why it's there, because it's a line from before. It's fan service. Meaningless fan service. Then we get the credits, and everyone is now adults. And the two that I really want to point out, one, Chi-Chi is so adorable because she's, like, doing dishes, which, I mean, I guess, the joke could be made that it's like, haha, a woman in a Toriyama series just doing dishes because that's her lot in life. But yeah, it was super cute because it had so much visual storytelling in one shot. Because she is now, like, up on this stool, like, on this step ladder, and she's like, and she's, like, now way above the sink. Because she wasn't tall enough to reach it before. That's so cute. I love it. It's a nice, adorable visual gag. We have Mr. Popo as an adult without his turban. He has the horns. Eee! And then we get a post-credit scene of them going back to the shop where they got the revived bugs and the fucking join bugs that never did anything in this story. And they find out that she has the evil eye. And it's like, oh yeah, I had like 3 of them. I sold one forever ago. And like they're expensive and kind of weird and no one ever wants to buy. I'll give you a discount if you want. And great. Perfect end. Like a great just Toriyama subversive gag in the last bit. Also, I have to wonder, lady, how old are you? Girl, one, you looking good. Like, slay, queen, slay. But also, damn bitch, how old are you? And that is Dragon Ball Daima. What a fucking mess this show was. I came into it so excited, so hyped, so looking forward to what this series had to offer. And it was like, it started off really rough with a long ass recap of the Majin Buu arc, and then episodes 2 and 3 started giving me hope. I still think episode 3 is a phenomenal episode. It is such a great character centric episode. It actually gets to do the Daima Wonderland that we were promised, like, in the intro theme. And then, like, the show just kind of waffles about, and it feels like it's just like, where the hell are we going in this story? And then we finally get the first Tamagami fight. And that's a lot of fun. That's a great episode also. And then it's just kind of waffling about again. And even, like, when we get to, like, the other Tamagami fights, it still never hits the same level because it just kind of feels like we're going through the motions. And it's kind of at a bad pace, and then the show's kind of waffling about a lot more, and then we finally get to the first demon world, and all of the adventure aspect is done. Now it is, we are storming the castle, which at very least, thank fucking God something's happening. At least that's what I would be saying if the big action set piece wasn't written like garbage. It is paced terribly. It is structured terribly. There is no tension. There's no excitement. It's absolutely fucking boring. Like, them going through, like, these, which should be absolute trash enemies, and being, like, them being treated like an actual threat was annoying. And then them getting saved by, like, King Kadon was lame. Like, that should have been the other way around. Like, King Kadon should have been the one in danger, and our heroes are the ones coming to save him. Like, there are other ways we could have gone about this. And then them just kind of, like, dealing with the shitty not Ginyus, like, where so much time is wasted on them, and they contributed nothing. And then we finally get, like, the big finale, and we finally find out where the hell this story has been going this whole time. Goma getting the evil eye. Okay. Here's the problem with Goma being the final villain. Goma barely gets any screen time in the show when you really think about it. Like, prior to the finale, Goma shows up at the very beginning. He makes his wish, and then we do not see him for episodes. Like, we see Arins, and she's communicating with Gloria, and then every so often we'll get, like, a scene, like, one scene or so every couple episodes of Goma. Nothing of substance. He doesn't even know that our heroes are there, so there's, like, no conflict between them. He's just kind of vibing. So when he is revealed to be the final villain, there's, like, no build up to him. He hasn't had any kind of antagonistic history with our heroes by this point. He just kind of shows up to be the final boss fight of the series with no build up. And it's made worse by the fact that he is just completely stripped of his personality. All the things that made him fun, gone. He is slightly more entertaining Jiren. Like, that is it. He is bland as shit. He is a generic-ass movie villain. He is Super Android 13. He fucking sucks once he gets the evil eye. This show is so poorly constructed, so poorly plotted out. For the record, I do not blame Toriyama. Toriyama did not write this show. Yuko Kakihara did. And, you know, she is working off of Toriyama's notes, Toriyama's outlines, and then building a series around that. And she did a piss poor job. I'm not going to say she is a terrible writer overall because, as I've mentioned, there's a lot of great stuff here. I think she writes fun character interactions, and she can write good comedic beats. I don't know how many of those came from Toriyama directly, but there's a lot of fun in this show. Unfortunately, when it comes to setups and payoffs and what to focus on in terms of the narrative, she is terrible at it. Like, if you're going to have her write, like, a fun little, like the episode where they're on the giant planet. That's a great little fun episode. It shouldn't have been placed where it was, but in isolation, it is a fun standalone episode that I am pretty certain is 100% her. But when it comes to serialized fiction, she is not good. It is not her strength, and it is not the kind of work she should be doing. She needs to be on more episodic things. She needs a co-writer or, like, a showrunner to help kind of focus and, like, guide her. Like, if she is going to do serialized fiction, just, God, she was such a bad choice for this kind of show. And that's Dragon Ball Daima. I could probably keep talking about this forever, honestly, but I'm going to cut things off here. I'm actually not done talking about Daima. At some point, me and Mr. Fusion are going to do a video together talking about Daima as a whole. Look forward to that at some point, like whenever we both have time and can record. But beyond that, I'm taking me a nice long break. I have some scripted content that I have been putting off and putting off and putting off, and I want to go work on that. I have things that I really want to make and things that I want to release later this year. And I can't do that if I'm doing like little unscripted videos and taking up what free time I have. So, I will be taking a nice long break after this Mr. Fusion collab about Daima, and then I will be coming back with something special. So look forward to that. Till next time, Xeon out.